My name's Ian Kraus, and this is my independent review of the Inmotion V10F. As you can see, it's a very nicely put together unit. It's a latest generation unit. It has all of the latest features and functions. It has got a nicely integrated pushing handle. The rubber on the sides of the unit and the pedals might change. It's the power indicator, a very, very bright light. It's the on-off button in front of it there. And if you lift the handle, you'll find the charging jack. It's an 84 volt unit, 84 volt 1.5 amp charger. And to lift the handle, you press the button and lift it up from the clip. It just comes up very, very easily. One of my favorite things about this unit is the size of the foot pedals. They're ginormous, which is really comfortable. The whole unit itself is fairly large, so I'm putting some objects here to give you a relative idea of it. Despite the size, it's quite maneuverable. I can ride it at a walking pace on a sidewalk full of people with not any problems. I can also maneuver it around very, very, very tight spaces. But let's go have some fun with it. Along with the size, it comes a lot of stability. It's a very confidence-inspiring wheel. It has a 2.5 inch wide tyre. Most 16-inch wheels are 2.1 inches, so it's significantly wider, and that gives it a very firm, planted feeling. You can also adjust the feeling of it quite a little bit by the amount of air pressure in the tyre. I find that this wheel, when it has a higher level of air pressure, it doesn't get skittish or wobbly like a lot of other wheels that I've ridden if they have a higher inflated tire pressure. It inspires a feeling of confidence. It's a 84 volt unit, 25 mile per hour max speed. It has a audible warning and then a very, very gentle tilt back. The tilt back is actually it's not a problem. On some of the other units I've ridden, the tilt back can be very disconcerting. This tilt back is very gentle, so it leads you to ride it fast without fear of hitting that top speed. Coming from Gotway wheels, that's actually very, very reassuring, as I've hit that cutoff a couple of times there. And on this wheel, I hit the cutoff. It's an audible warning and very gentle tilt back. There's not any problems at all. It makes me feel safe going fast. This is a pre-production unit, and as such, I don't have access to the app yet because it's not being finished off. It should be done literally in a matter of days, I've been told, and that would let me do things like have the lights on the side of the unit go. It would let me use the speakers. There's a speaker above the tail light and the headlight. They're fairly loud because the warning message comes out, and it comes out loud and clear. That will be customizable on the final unit as well too, which should be a very fun feature. This is a V10F with a 960 watt battery. It's got a 2000 watt motor, which is, I think, for a 16-inch wheel, it's about as good as it gets. It's done by the amount of current going through it, so on the standard V10 it's rated at 1800 watts power going through the motor, but the V10F is 2000, which is a ton of fun. The confidence this wheel gives me is just incredible. I find myself doing stuff much more confidently and better than I have on just about any other wheel which I've ridden, and I think that's due to the size and stability. It has high foot pegs. You don't have to worry about scraping the ground. I've turned very, very tightly. I can make it touch, but you really have to be trying to make it scrape. It's good for a good turn of speed too, and like I said before, you can actually use all of that speed rather than be afraid of the last 1/3 of it. One thing I would like to see on this wheel is a USB charging jack, which it doesn't have. That would be a nice touch because it has just about every other modern feature. It has a hand cut off when you pick up the handle. It has a 2.5 inch tire. It has all of the latest things. The headlight is really bright on it. So when you see this wheel beside other wheels, you'll see that it is actually physically larger. It's narrow though, so it feels nice between your legs. It doesn't force your legs apart. It lets you stand in a much more natural position. And it's sittable. I would want to put a nice pad on it before I quit sit down that low on it, but it's so stable. It's so stable. I mean, I can do things on this wheel that I just simply can't do on other wheels. So yeah, it's confidence inspiring. It's fun. It does weigh 45 pounds, so despite the weight, it's fairly maneuverable still. It's highly recommended. Just to give you some idea of the size of it, here's an M Super, which it makes look like an old relic from the 80s, literally. The styling is very, very nice. You get the feeling it's a very polished product. Here's the size of it compared to a Tesla. So, well, I do talk about the size of it, and it is visibly larger. It's not ridiculously larger, but it is a step larger. I've enjoyed this wheel immensely. I look forward to riding it more, and I look forward to doing a follow-up review. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe.